Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, episode number 315 on deck. Kind of a fun one since it's our area code.
Yeah, there you go. Didn't think of that.
Right? I mean,
repping the 315.
I don't think anybody else cares, but it's still fun.
No, it is.
Boy, I don't. The last time I sent this many messages trying to collect information and line up guests and everything was when we were doing those fastest 5-minute shows for Blizzard Bash. It was crazy.
That's good though. It's good.
I don't know if I'm out of practice or what it is, but there was so much stuff going on. It's going to be like this from here on out, I think.
I hope so.
It certainly is some good news. Our local tracks got a little bit of a knock. I don't know if you saw that. The no fan mandate was extended to August 2nd. So Fulton Speedway, Brewerton Speedway, staying shuttered. Utica Rome Speedway didn't run over the weekend.
How come Canandaigua was running with fans?
Hey, roll those dice. Usually, we make the joke and say it's easy to get forgiveness on his permission, but boy, that's going to be a tough one to get forgiveness on if anything does go wrong. But if it goes right, hey, fans are watching races. Midsummer Mayhem was this weekend. Brett Reed's show out in Downsville. There was another show in Bethel, you said?
Yep, Bethel yesterday.
So I didn't even know that one happened. I was not. If anybody's listening at home, Jordan Early checking in already on Facebook. If anybody's listening at home and has any of the results from the Weekend Warrior event in Mott, North Dakota, I didn't catch the finish orders on that. We'll get into that a little bit deeper as we get a little bit deeper. But we're going to be talking with Casey Smith about a whole bunch of different things. We're going to be catching up with Matt Wingrove. Jamie Rake's going to be on the show. We got some information to share from Roaring Knob. We've got some information to share from Mark Elliott. We've got Nebraska. We've got Iowa. It is packed, and it's going to be a very busy one, to say the least. So excited to have everybody along for the ride with us tonight. Again, Brian making the trip. And you said you were working on a car before you got here?
Yeah, Zach and I have been working all day on my Cadillac and getting the cage in it, and we put the pedals in, and I got the trunk done and all that good stuff. And I said, Bud, what time's your phone say? He was like 5:15. I said, well, I guess I'm not showered or changing before the show. So he dropped me off at home, and I came here, and he went back to continue welding on the cage. So one thing I do want to do before we get too in depth and I forget lose my mind because I'm old and it's going like my hair. Last week was somewhere about 3 degrees above the surface of the sun. So I just want to make a shout out to all you guys and girls out there that work outside in that heat and had to get up and go to work and bust your butts every day. That stuff was crazy. We worked a little bit in the shop last week, and I remembered, man, this stuff isn't fun. And now I'm old and fat, it's really not fun. So I just want to say, great job to all you people that have to work outside or do work outside. And, I have a ton of respect for all you guys that do that stuff.
Can-Am Speedway nixed their racing based on a heat index.
Really?
Yeah. Which, I imagine it gets pretty hot inside the cockpit of the race cars.
Yeah, they get pretty warm.
Coming in with a fireproof suit, sitting behind a big block engine, all 358s now up there, and a fire protection helmet and stuff.
Yeah.
Can't be fun.
Yeah, I've seen my brother after some pretty warm races. He's come in pretty whooped.
I believe it. So here we are. We're going to be kicking things off first. Casey Smith is waiting on the line, taking a break from working on, finally getting a chance to work on some of his own equipment tonight. And man, I hear that everything has been pretty busy trying to restock as the switch has been flipped, the floodgates are open, and Demolition Derby's happening. You guys have got to try and keep up with some inventory demands now.
Yeah, there for a while, everybody was kind of in the same boat with what events were going to be going on, and as fast as they were getting pushed back or rescheduled, the unfortunate part is a lot of guys, and people out there, they plan some of the bigger events. They have to take vacation for it, or they have to plan in advance. And when all this stuff started changing, it really kind of screwed up a lot of plans for people. So, if you missed a show, or it moved, and they either wrote that show off, or they were kind of waiting for a lot of solid things to start building. And fortunately, we've stayed busy with the parts business, more so than I thought we would. And normally, it was a 90-day delay is how I look at it, more of a pit stop than anything. Yeah. And now we're back to the point where we're really back to where we should have been, say in March and April, as far as production and producing and shipping. And so it's business as usual. But yeah, it's getting more demand for in-stock products, so we're going to try to get things caught up. We had a pretty busy weekend at Roaring Knob. I was one of the vendors down there, along with Jeffy's Fab Farm as well. And I know we both, had people in and out of our tents all day long and carrying products away from both places. So, we had guys as far away as Sandusky, Ohio, that came to compete over the weekend. So.
People are looking for places to go to wreck stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think there were some shows over that way that unfortunately got canceled abruptly and unexpectedly. And guys got a lot of work and effort into their cars, and they want to get something out of it, and they want to go have some fun. And fortunately, Hardcore Promotions is a very welcoming group, and it's a great organization to run for, and they got some great classes. So 117 cars proved that on Saturday, I believe.
Yeah, that's a real good turnout. We it was funny, before we went on air, Casey and I were talking, and 2 weeks ago, Jeremy Gully made a trip to Ohio for some motors and was stopping at Smith Metalwork to pick stuff up. And I said, "Hey, could you pick me up a bumper?" And he was like, "Yeah, no problem." So, like, the day before he leaves, he's like, "Did you call Casey and order a bumper?" And I was like, no, I was kind of hoping they had one in stock. And thankfully they did. And we got it home and looked, and I'm looking it over. Haven't got it in the car yet, but it looks like a great piece. I can't wait to test it out. Jeremy told me what he does to stuff his, and said he hasn't bent one yet. So if Jeremy hasn't bent one, I'm not going to bent one. So I can't wait to run that for the next 4 or 5 years. It's lot. I mean, we've had it. We've really seen your guys' stuff kind of explode over the last couple of years. I mean, you guys are getting a lot of really high quality products out there. What's it been like for you? I mean, it's you guys have really kicked it into overdrive as far as producing stuff. How's that been going?
Oh, very good. We really strived on our delivery times for our customers with our products. We don't have the biggest menu of items, but our goal isn't to have the most pages of the menu. Our goal is to, what we offer, make sure that we can deliver it to our customers as soon as possible and deliver the quality, And the other thing that we do with a lot of our products, with the bumpers, the 03 and up engine mounting systems, we make products that help promoters and builders, both sides of the fence, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We got different class of bumpers that fit in from, wire cars, compacts, all the way up to a light limited weld, and then we make we offer a pro class bumper. So we give the promoters a lot of diversity there to pick and choose what's legal in classes. And same way with the 03 and up engine mounts, we make an engine mount that basically can be 100% bolt in or bolt in and weld in. Mm-hmm. And it helps mount an engine in an 03 and up Ford, and it's an affordable piece at $285. So, and it's reusable. And a lot of the promoters like it because they don't have to write 2 extra pages of rules around an 03 Ford how to mount your engine.
Yeah, them 03s are they're a headache for inspectors and promoters.
They can be. We've seen them from stock form all the way up to what I've taken to Blizzard Bash personally, and they are a very good car to have on the track, honestly, in about any form. So if you're not careful of how how do I say this? If you're not careful how you write the rules for what kind of 03 and up Ford you expect to show up, you can leave the door open for a very competitive car.
Definitely.
That's, going, but that's our goal, is to make products that work for both sides of the fence. And, we've seen the results. It's helped a lot of promoters. It's sped up inspections. It's, you can install this piece in an 03 and up in about 20 minutes. You're ready to put a motor in it, so.
Can't beat that.
No, so that's, like I said, that's our goal at SMW, is to build products we build, and, we want to help build the sport on all aspects. We recently came up with a new sticker called Building Drivers. We started working with a lot of promoters on youth programs, out there on the track. So, and that's been panning out really well this year.
Well, you're active with the youth program at the Keystone Nationals, right?
That is correct. Yeah, Iron City Promotions for the Keystone Nationals this year in Brookville, PA. Steve had asked me if I'd be interested in heading up the youth full-size program, and it's probably the only time that you'll catch me working at a demolition derby in an inspection line for the youth. But I really enjoy working with the youth drivers and the youth classes, because it's the future of our sport. I keep any promoter that's really not out there trying to do more with youth classes is really missing the boat, because ultimately you're cultivating your future customers to come run your events.
Absolutely.
I think at Roaring Knob this past weekend, there was a youth full-size heat and also a youth compact. And one thing that I do, even if I'm not associated with any of the staff with Hardcore, but I do sponsor the event, I do a secondary drivers meeting with the youth drivers, just to talk about track expectations. Our goal here in Pennsylvania is developing these kids to drive the way they should drive, deliberately, accurately. We're not encouraging them to go out there and go for the Mad Dog Award. We're giving them seat time, and we're trying to develop them into competitive young people. So, when they graduate out of this class and get into filling out entries for their regular local, full-size cars, they can show up at their local track and be competitive and give that guy that's been winning for the past 3 years a real run for his money. So, it's been working pretty good. We recently actually built a track for test tune and training, and we had a couple youth drivers there a couple weeks ago.
That's
and
awesome.
We worked on some basic principles that people overlook, and both those kids just took first and second place at Roaring Knob.
So you run the Barber Racing School of Demolition Derby.
Well, there's nothing
That's
wrong
so cool.
with, and whether you agree with me or not, young people, I believe, need direction.
Oh, yes.
I can sure say I needed a lot of it during my youth, and I still require it from time to time today. But the biggest thing is, number one, promoting sportsmanship and the fun of the sport. And the camaraderie that you see building between these kids on the track before, during, and after is pretty amazing. Some days we could all really take a lesson from them.
Yeah.
But we're extending that to them before the event, and we're also trying to give them pointers on how to stay safe out there, keeping your fellow drivers in a safe manner. And like I tell them all in the meeting, if you get a wheel shot on somebody and you can knock it out of the park, by all means you take it, because you never seen anybody really get kicked out of a boxing match for punching somebody too hard, but you got to make sure you hit them in the right place.
Yep. Very true.
So
Very true.
that's the thing we just tell them is expectations, But yeah, going back to the Keystone Nationals, it's going to be exciting. I think right now I foresee at least a field of 20 to 25 youth drivers showing up. if there's any out there that are on the fence about entering, they need to get online, get to Iron City Promotions website,
Iron City Promos,
and get an entry filled out, because that class has definitely got some traction. And we're looking forward to this is going to be the first national event for a youth full-size class. So the build is not a hard build. We kept it to a simple stock style build. No crazy parts as far as engine protection or any of that. So now, and like I tell everybody, it will be a competitive event. We do expect some of the best built cars to show up, but the rules are very plainly spelled out. And I think we'll see some well-built cars, but I don't think we'll see overbuilt cars.
What's the age cutoff on that?
I believe it is, bear with me, it's 12 to 16, okay? And, I wrestled with how early to introduce kids to full-size cars, and I had a lot of opinions, but one of the things that we've done over the past, we actually started these youth divisions 5 years ago, and we were focusing on the compacts, and then before we know it, like last Saturday at Roaring Knob with Hardcore, they had to run 2 features of compacts and pay 2 features because they had so many. So what we found is we're naturally creating a migration for these kids to run compacts even when they get of age to go to adult classes. So, in essence, we were breeding compact drivers. Now, they've supported every event here in Eastern Ohio, whether it be Derby Dog, Hardcore, Iron City. I mean, the compacts are busting at the seams, but what we overlooked was how do we develop the full-size classes.
Right.
So we want to introduce them to the full-size class as soon as possible, and then we kick them out at 16. Now, the way we have it wrote is if you turn 17 during the scheduled season, which it was how to do this, you're not ineligible to run. As long as you could start the season, which we figured basically starts in April, or 1st of May through the end of the year, you were eligible to run. So we didn't want to, get a kid that, say, he ran one derby and then poof, he turned 17 and out. So we give them a good 4.5, 5 years to run in this class and develop.
Sure. Now, if I get Brian a fake ID, can he run?
Well, I'm not in charge of checking IDs and fingerprinting, so, if you can get him in and he can pass, good luck.
It's been a while since I've been run over by a 17-year-old kid.
Well, let me tell you something. Some of these kids are getting it out there. Rick Furster has won 2 for 2 at Roaring Knob.
Yeah.
And the amazing part is, with the Unified Point Series of Mark Elliott's, Rick's in the running. And if he stays competitive with these youth full-size classes, you might see a youth full-size driver take home that Unified Point Series.
Would that be amazing or what?
Right.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pulling for him.
Absolutely.
He is local to us, and, he's a great kid. And, he come out to our little driving clinic, and he exercised what he learned. His buddy was in second, and the nose end was coming up on that other Ford, and he took the back end of that Ford of his and just broke every piece of steering on it. So, he did a tremendous job.
I like the fact that your rules are not too extreme, because I think we were watching, I can't remember where it was, but me and a buddy of mine were watching a youth derby from somewhere out west, and they were like full-blown mod cars. And I'm like, how can kids learn anything in a full-blown mod car? Because, those things are, about 2 inches from indestructible. So, you can hit people however you want, wherever you want, as hard as you want, and just keep going, really. I would like to see kids, learn, okay, I got to save my car, and I got to pick and choose shots, because even if I have a hard car, I only got, say, 10 hard shots with the nose before the nose is gone, so I'm going to have to use the back and da-da-da-da-da. Like you said, it's definitely, it's good for them to get that under their belt. And then, down the road, if they go to a full welder, if they go to a mod car or whatever, they can, I think it makes you even better in that class, because you are used to picking the the quote unquote softer spots.
Right. I ran into it. I ran into the demolition derby's dying conversation last night.
That's fine.
And I climbed probably atop my soapbox and explained why that's wrong.
Yeah, no kidding.
And we went back and forth, and there was some philosophical disagreements that ultimately boiled down to the essence of the kids aren't interested. And I said the kids are interested. They want to do it. The problem that we run into with the kids is, one, they don't have tuner cars in high school anymore the way that we did 35 years ago, where you could work on something.
Yep.
So they don't have that experience. Second, they want immediacy. They want to go online and they want to buy all the parts, whatever it is, and whatever division. Casey using plain language rules versus the extreme stuff. And when they don't go out and win right away, they rage quit, sell everything off, and it starts that cycle, and they don't stick to it. And nowheres is there a handbook that you can hand to a 16-year-old that says you can buy every part in the world, but if you don't know how to put it together and then you don't know how to drive it, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. So
I don't think that it's dying as much as we just need to, as Casey said, condition everybody to understand how it works, and it's okay to lose.
That's a couple of things I bring up in the meeting with these kids. Is I tell them participation trophies are now a thing of the past. Okay.
absolutely.
This is a learning platform, and there's going to be 3 places that get paid tonight. If you're upset with what happens, you got to go home and work on it, or come talk to somebody that'll help you. It's going to happen. And it's been really good because I tell them all how proud they should be of themselves for filling out an entry form, doing the work, and showing up, because they already did something that 6 million other Americans will never do.
Truth.
And,
Absolute truth.
As long as you encourage them and you help them and you give them a realistic platform to compete in, yeah, not every kid's going to be interested in it. But the ones that go there and cheer for any driver out there, you see them at the fence, they're waving a flag, they're jumping up and down. The time you go to every derby, how many Power Wheels kids do you have come?
Yeah.
Piles.
Boatloads.
So you tell me that them kids are going to quit loving Demolition Derby when they turn 12? I highly doubt it.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Highly doubt it.
That's the thing. I mean,
Kylie Gully didn't.
No. she's doing pretty good for herself. But that's the thing, back in the archaic days when I started out, there was no internet. And Demolition Derby was very guarded. Nobody was giving up any secrets, I mean, we've touched 100 times, sorry, Josh Buell, but, at our hometown fair, the Benjamins would come in, clean house, take all our money and leave, But what we didn't know is that they were running 30 derbies a summer. So they built and knew what was going on and learned, and as stuff started evolving and you got to know more people, we started traveling just to watch derbies and became friends with Mark and Brett and, guys from other areas, and learned Robbie Brown, Rich Predmore, learning stuff, and now with the internet, thankfully people have kind of let their guard down, and, you can ask people, hey, how do you do this and how do you do that? And, for the most part, I see a lot of good answers out there, a lot of people, but you can't beat the seat time. I mean, it doesn't matter, whoever you think is a great driver, watch them. And the best drivers win from the stock class, and they can win all the way to the mod. And it's because they're good in the seat. I mean, how many times have we seen it at the shows we've been at? From our local shows that we've done to, Blizzard Bash.
Go ahead, say it.
What?
I'm waiting.
What?
It's you're going to name drop. You're dying to.
No, I'm not.
You're dying to.
No, I'm not. That's why I said if you could pick any driver you like. But I mean, it's seat time, and you can't put anything in motorsports. The more seat time you have, the better you're going to be.
I can't believe that you finished that soliloquy that you just did there without mentioning Brett Relier or Bobby Whitaker.
I did say Brett for helping me out, but I mean,
Mark Benjamin just said he hates the internet. I think Casey should tell the kids to be proud that they used a pencil and paper.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean,
kids don't do that anymore.
As silly as that sounds.
Yeah.
But
I'll back up. Brett Rallier. I never got to know Brett till we went out to Vegas, with everybody, and I tell you, I don't care what anybody says, that man can wheel a car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did he ran someplace this weekend?
Yeah, he went to Maryland. He said he got down to like 10th, and then it got hot and shut off.
Okay. So, but yeah, I've been lucky to come friends with Brett. I would say that I'm very happy that he's on one of my favorite 5 lists. So
I completely forgot that you guys had run together out there.
Well, I didn't run with him. He ran with Chance.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Yes.
So,
my bad.
Yeah. The youth classes, I think, going back to Keystone, it's going to be a fabulous display. I think you'll see these kids out there competing on the track for well over an hour in a stock style car. And like I said, anybody that thinks these rules are difficult, they're not. We got a couple small areas to give the kids a little bit of extra exercising on the car, but nobody can't do at home with a hammer. We allowed them to do some very basic body shaping for the Keystone, because, the one thing that I find, and even my son Chance to this day with his age, they love to beat the crap out of stuff with hammers. So, so they dig the peening cars, but we give them just a very specific outline. We got a nice diagram and a set of rules. It's more of a, we also throw this stuff out there for learning curves, hey, let's introduce this, let's introduce that, but
yep.
When you go back to talking about replacements for seat time, there is none. We got this track available for youth to contact us because a lot of kids don't have the areas to take the car out back and beat it around, get comfortable with it, ride around, and also it gives you that, but we're going to start working on some actual structured things. I worked with teaching the kids how to drive in reverse and showing them some different techniques of how the car, how to look around and see where you're going, and because you see so many kids drive forward because that's the immediate natural thing for them to do. You got to remember, most of these kids have never driven a vehicle, so this is their first time at it.
Yeah, people don't realize how hard it is to back up and use the back end of a car.
It's something.
It's crazy. Chad Markley, one of the best at it. There's a name drop for you.
That's what we reinforce in the drivers' meetings with them. Hey, you don't have to hit it if it doesn't look right, and you don't have to take that shot if you don't want to. Take the shot you want to take. But be deliberate when you do it. Don't be out there riding around. And I'm going to tell you, these kids have been running close to an hour at a time with stock cars. If you think they haven't been trading punches, you're wrong, because they have really been knocking the crap out of each other, and they're proving that you can take some pretty lightly built cars and put on a great show, and they're repairing them and bringing them back. So
now down there, do the youth drivers have an adult ride with them, or are they by themselves?
No, they have a rider with them.
Gotcha.
So what I tell them is the co-pilot in the car is there for direction, okay, to coach why they're driving, give them directions where to go. If they happen to get hung up on each other, more or less help assist them, because our goal is to keep them derbying. We don't want to see them piled up with 2 of them stuck together, and have an early night. But I absolutely make it clear that it is not their job to drive the car. So that's what the adults are in there for. Plus, like I said, going back to giving kids direction, they don't have the experience with being familiar with, what all goes on the track. And, if there's a little bit of an issue, the adult riders can pick up on it faster, get the car stopped, And like I always say to the riders, at any time you feel you need to get this kid's attention, I'm not telling you to smack them in the side of the helmet, but you need to do whatever you need to do to get their attention and get them under control.
Absolutely.
And what I mean by that is, if a kid starts, maybe he doesn't see a red flag and he's still going after it. You know what I mean? Things like that. So that's why we like to have the riders in the cars.
Very cool. I agree.
If a kid can go out and compete without a however you want to call it, a co-pilot or a coach in the car.
Yep.
At that point, if they can really run competitively, then in their 16, 17, then they need to make the decision to maybe migrate a little earlier into another class. But that's why we like to do it. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, but that's the way we like to.
Oh no, I agree. I think it's great.
And going back to the rules. The Keystone rules is, and most of the youth rules you see down here are specifically built around people in the car. That's the one thing I think, just to cover a topic, I've had the biggest thing I've had question on the rules is, are we allowed to run alcohol? And it distinctly says in the rules you're not, and I'm not looking to turn it into a debate. I've been around the racing world, everything else. When you take a lot of your auxiliary equipment, your battery, your transmission coolers, or, fuel tank, and you cram that all into a back seat area, you run out of real estate in a hurry.
Yep.
And typically carrying, running a car on alcohol, you're going to carry more fuel than you would with gasoline.
Yep.
So I just didn't like having that much fuel in a car with two people.
Yeah, I understand that completely.
If you can follow my thought process on that.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is, when we only have one person in the car, you can spread your tranny cooler out. You can put that in one spot, and you can move the battery to a little different spot, and then you have more room. But with two people, absolutely, that makes complete sense not to have.
And the other side of that is, you got to put, when you take the promoters. And fortunately in this sport, we've been lucky with what we've seen over the years with everybody staying pretty safe. When you have two people in the car, now your EMS and your fire people and track officials may have to get two people out of a car, not just one.
Yep.
So that was some of my reasoning behind how we wrote the rules with the cage and some other stuff, because we didn't want things cluttered in the front area at all. In the event that somebody has to get out in a hurry, we want to make it easy for them to get out.
Makes sense.
I mean, just some of the things that I thought myself should have been put into this, and and there's always room for improvement. And I'm not perfect, but we tried to write it around that, that ideal. So, but yeah, Keystone Nationals youth full size should be an amazing class, and any kid that wants to get a warm-up, I believe the other promoters, that are running shows this year, if you go to our website at smithmetalworks.info, you can go to our events tab, and most of the shows that are scheduled for the remainder of the year are on there. So you can go, whether it be Derby Dog, Hardcore Promotions, or Iron City, you can go to all their websites, go get a warm-up, come to Hardcore, run a youth class, see what Derby Dog's got available, and, get ready. Come to Keystone, because, one of the big prizes in the youth full size at Keystone is a completely built turnkey youth car with a Redline engine, a new transmission, rear end, and complete car that the winner of the Keystone Nationals youth full size will end up owning.
Maybe I should try to sneak into that class. That's a pretty nice prize.
And a paid entry to run the Hardcore Promotions Championship event. So what we're going to do is, the car is being built by us here at Smith Metalworks. Iron City Promotions give us a spotless frame, and we got a nice box Ford body on it, and it'll basically be built to comply with the general set of youth rules between Iron City and Hardcore Promotion. So a kid's going to basically get to show up with his helmet and run that car.
Can't beat that. Nope.
We might even pop up the SMW tent and put the car under it and treat them like everything but a helicopter ride.
That sounds cool.
But, we just wanted to really do something for the youth that, have been running throughout the year, and give them something a little extra to go home with. And then, if that kid is on the graduating end of the class, then, hey, he's got a great setup to start into the full size.
I would say so.
So,
Casey, man, I appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out with us for a little while. We got to get Jamie Rake on. We got all sorts of results. We'll run down all the results from Hardcore this weekend here in just a minute. We got that all queued up. We're going to be talking with Matt Wingrove as well here, so still tons of stuff to get to.
yep.
Casey, man, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate the support. We look forward to talking with you here soon.
Yep. Anytime, guys. See you.
Have a good one,
Casey. So Casey Smith, one of the things that I wanted to get to, but I'm concerned with how late we're running on poor Jamie, that I told him he was nervous enough about it to begin with.
The nice thing about having so much to talk about is we have so much to talk about.
I know, right? And I'm gonna get Casey on the line. Smith Metalworks. Well, I guess maybe that's why he didn't write back to my text message, because the phone line went right to a voicemail for Jamie Rake. So maybe we won't get Jamie.
Sorry to say about Smith Metalworks.
Yeah, I'm double checking the phone number. Hopefully the camera's still on you.
It is.
Until that. Yeah. Let's see. Casey Smith committed support to Crash Course Podcast and Crash Course Nationals, which
Cool.
has now made things even more insane for.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week off the air. That's gonna be pretty darn cool.
It is. So we got some more stuff that's coming, and I think that magic number I told you about, I think we're going to be able to just hurtle right past that without a problem. So
That's impressive.
That'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. That stuff's going to drop. Some of it, news is going to come out tonight after we're done with the show. Oh, we can tell it now. Tonight, well, tomorrow, a raffle ticket is going to go live for that. So people that didn't get in can buy a $2 chance, and we're going to pull one name just like do at any raffle event. It doesn't go right to the feature; it has to go to the heats. So you got to win your way through, just like anybody else does. But
You already got my name on that ticket?
no, because you're already in.
Damn.
Why do you need a raffle card? You got.
Well, no, I was just, I could use 2 chances because I'm not that good at what I do, but
So we'll table Jamie Rake. Tried calling right to voice now. We'll do this. Marty Seeger was taking some of the kids that were new to the video game and taking them off of General Derby time and putting 2 or 3 of them in the track with him and driving around in his car and saying, for the next 10 minutes, you can only use your back.
really?
For the next 10 minutes, you can only hit my front tires.
Wow.
And trying to coach,
That's cool.
yeah.
Just like Casey was saying.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It was funny. It was just within the last couple weeks or so. So Smith Metalworks, again, we appreciate the support. You're going to be hearing more about them. Smith Metalworks, all-purpose fabrication shop that has taken the Northeast by storm. Smith Metalworks features more than 40 years of combined metalworking experience. The hallmark of their line is the pointed and flat front bumpers, replicating popular factory releases. You can figure out what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
They can be stuffed or on hollow. They're reusable. There's also a compact version of the pointed bumper. Other items include Crown Vic door skins, battery boxes, engine mounting systems that install in like 20 minutes, pedal combos, shifters. The shop offers all the odds and ends, such as the distributor clamps and welding centers, and you should always ask them about their GM floor
I saw that.
liners. As it was.
I for those rusty floors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they're stacking them up. In-person locations are located in Mercer, Uniontown, and Bethlehem, Pennsylvania for pickup. They also do shipping online. SmithMetalworks.info. Experience and passion, second to none. They build drivers.
You know what else is, I think, also one of their coolest products is the door skins. They sell door skins for Cadillacs, Fords, GMs, all that stuff. Put it on, weld it, and you're done.
Right.
That's a really nice product.
We had a reference to these guys during Casey's appearance. Jeffy's Fab Farm is recognized as an industry leader in all manner of fabrication needs. Jeffy's Fab Farm is a national go-to for a number of demolition derby parts. The Fab Farm specializes in LS conversion components but earn major derby cred with their various header offerings. Jeffy's Fab Farm just released a solid 4-cylinder Camry engine mount and a Hyundai Elantra 1.8 and 2.0 series headers. The store offers bumper-to-bumper selection, including fuel and air parts, suspension and transmission items, steering components, pedals, shifters, switches, and gauges. If you need it, it's at Jeffy's Fab Farm. Online, jeffysfabfarm.com. Check out the virtual store and order today. So while we got this going, we touched on this. We'll knock this one out real quick as well. Iron City Promos, IronCityPromos.com. They're the ones overseeing the Keystone Nationals. The 2020 edition falls on the 19th of September at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, Pennsylvania. $10,000 to win super stocks and the championship belt. $1,500 to win stock compacts. $700 to win youth class. Also on the card. Pit gates at 9, general admission at 2, derby at 6. All the division winners are going to bring home a championship belt, and the youth winner, like we talked about, gets a full turnkey derby-ready youth rules car with a red line engine stuff between the rails. If you can believe that, that's not too shabby, huh?
Yeah,
not too bad.
You and I were talking about that last week because it was on the 19th. I've never seen a bad derby at the Brookville in Brookville. Everyone who's been there has been just so awesome. And I was like, with all the stuff that Iron City's doing, I'm like, man, I want to go see that this year. Until I looked at our football schedule and we have a game that day. Because our school didn't get the lights fixed, didn't buy the right lights, blah, blah, blah. So we now have Saturday afternoon football games.
Your life's terrible.
That would have worked out nice to have a game on Friday, get up Saturday morning, you and I could just go to the show and hang out and watch. When's the last time we went and just watched the Derby?
I don't remember. Burlington had action this weekend, too. They had the monster trucks going down there. Hardcore Derby Promotions, the action over there at the Roaring Knob Motorsports Complex. Youth Compact winner, Terry Abadi, Landon Thomas, Casey Lake filling the top 3 there. In the minivan SUV class, Steven Sickles. Got over the hump. Well, he had a bit of a dry spell. I think he ran 3 derbies without finishing in the top 3 or something.
Yeah, that's not good for him.
but he got it righted there, picked up the win. Charlie Webb, Mike Yager for rounding out the top 3 in that class. In the youth full-size division, Carrick Firster winning that one, Preston Henshaw and Andrew Heath. Those last names should sound very familiar for anybody who's accustomed to the Western PA circuit.
All 3 of the names, really.
Very good youth full-size finish there. A quick side note here. I was going to do this while I had Casey on the phone and I forgot. Timothy Paul is an official for Hardcore.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whoa.
How scary is that?
That grossed me out. It freaked me out all at the same time.
Yeah.
To catch it during the show. It got a nick. It caught an artery. He had to go to Pittsburgh. Oh, my stomach just turns thinking about it. I'm glad that he's doing better.
Yes, better now.
We're able to get things under control. Hobby stock. James Bandemer won there. Jason Walker, Matt Wingrove. We're going to be talking with him in just a few minutes here. The compact feature 1, Ricky Yeager, one over Jeremy Merriman and Josh Burns. The compact feature 2, Jesse Bates, Adam Merriman, and William Jones, the top 3 there. And in the full size, Joey Pernice coming away with the win over William Close. Andy Burrows, Hellraiser Award was William Close. Their next event is July the 25th. Hardcore Derby is going to be hosting an event with the kicker cars. Main gates open at noon. Again, it's destruction on the knob. July 25th, 4 o'clock start. Pit gates at 8. So shifting gears now, we're going to have Matt.
Did you see the picture of Jesse or Joey during the Derby? It looked like he backed over somebody's tire, and his car was about standing on end. Somebody got it at the perfect time.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the best Derby pictures I've ever seen.
So let's blast through some of this other stuff, and then we'll turn around and we'll get Matt Wingrove on the backside of it. Fatty.
Yep.
Took a car out to Bellefontaine, Ohio,
Saw that.
and they ran out there. So I think he ended up. One of the guys in his crew got Mad Dog, and they swept 1, 2, 3. It's not a bad night for
Fatty and crew
at all. He of course runs a lot, and when he can, away from Smash It Demolition Derby, because an official there, Smash It Demolition Derby. They've got a couple derbies coming up here soon. July the 25th, Fayette County Fairgrounds in Washington Courthouse, Ohio, 7 o'clock start. Street stocks, compact street stocks, Smash It compacts, pro stocks, power wheels. That's a mouthful. August the 1st at Preble County, that's in Eaton, Ohio. Pro stock, street stock, compact street stock, minivans, trucks, SUVs, street stock rules, power wheels as well. August the 4th, Greene County Fair in Xenia, Ohio. Pro stock, street stock, compact street stock, Smash It compacts, power wheels. August 6th is the Auglaize County Fairground in Wapakoneta, Ohio. Ohio has just the best names for their cities.
They do.
That's part of the I-75 Points Championship, which is still going to happen this year. Street stock, compact street stock, Smash It compacts, and power wheels on deck there. Upcoming events can be found online, smashitderby.com. You're not going to find any information about the Bash for Cash, unfortunately, due to the volume of people expected for that and the way that the Derby outdoor event landscape has fallen. The Bachelor Cash has been a loss for 2020. It's unfortunate that news came out I think it was like hours after we signed off last Monday.
Yeah, it was when we got home, I think.
Well, Capital City Carnage isn't what we're supposed to be talking about. There it is, Blizzard Bash. Stormont Vale Event Center is the home of Blizzard Bash 2020. November 11th is the heat draws. November 12th is National Qualifying Team Round 1. November the 13th, National Qualifying Team Round 2. The 14th is a double program with compact and limited weld team heats in the morning. All the Team B features, trucks, and limited weld one and dones happening that night. And that sets the stage for Championship Sunday with all the Team A mains on November the 15th. Online for additional information, blizzardbash.com. So we did Keystone National, smash it. Unified Point Series. That got shuffled a little bit.
Yeah,
after this weekend. That win helped Steven Sickles out a lot, but he's got to work to keep pace. John Shipley out in front with 30 points. Nick King up to second place with 24. Matt Wingrove and Andy Burrows tied for second place with 22 each. Online, you can follow along with all the point standings, 527unifiedseries.com. Mark Elliott, send us some information to go over. Destruction Motorsports is the next event on July the 17th in Indianapolis. So they're going to be busy here.
Is that right on the front stretch in Indy?
I don't believe it is. July the 18th is Getting Junk's Jay County Fair in Portland, Indiana. And then July 25th is Destruction on the Knob, Markleysburg, Pennsylvania, hosted by Hardcore Derby Promotions, which we just talked about. The month is going to round out with Triple D's Knox County Fair in Mount Vernon, Ohio, and then Ruts Fabrications King of Butler County event in Hamilton, Ohio, and then Urban Destruction on July 31st and August 1st, hosted by Wicked Derbies in Evansville, Indiana. So a lot of action here to round out the month for the Unified Point Series as well. So we've got that. Midsummer Mayhem. Yes.
Downsville.
Yeah, that's the one. We
So I
got it.
just said.
We got it right here.
Yes.
That track was made out of sawmuck. Have you ever heard of sawmuck?
No, what is it?
Sawmuck is muck from saws, apparently. So the person that helps with the grounds there owns a cutting mill. And they cut what they call bluestone, and the material that comes off of the dust basically piles up, and it's almost like a powdered clay. And when you get it wet, it can tolerate a ton of water, and when it dries, it gets really hard. It'll get so hard it cracks itself, and you can hear tires squeal, and that's what they use for the surface. So the fact that they got all those, jeepers, I gotta quit pushing buttons here. Get rid of that.
Out of practice, bud.
Get it? Well, I got thrown off when we couldn't get a hold of Jamie and tried to reorganize everything. And
Deep breath. Go to your happy place.
Zen. So this track got a ton of water, and it really didn't go away until it got the third round of 40-minute downpours. And they got derbying on it and everything. They kept scraping it so the track held up, but they have an unlimited supply of it. The derby's going to happen again next year, which is awesome news. They had 131 total cars sign in. They had approaching 100 compacts. Jamie Rake won it. It's $2,000 to win there. $1,500 Mad Dog for Patrick Dellis. The information that we got from Brett Reed, he said that this was a little bit low-key by design because he didn't want to run into any of the problems that could potentially come along with that many people, and there was some blowback, but nonetheless, the Derby went on as planned.
Good.
Holden Smith, Jamie Rake, and David King had a battle. Jamie had to come through the consi and had 5 seconds left on the hit clock with a broken Stevie to make a hit, and I guess he got enough contact in order to get out of the consi and get to the feature. So
Wow.
it was and then David King, obviously he's going to be around at the finish no matter what he's in. Austin Smith won the 2000 win V8 class. Austin Williams took second place and the Mad Dog Award there. And it was really tough to pick a Mad Dog. I guess it was certainly a challenge. As a promoter, Brett wanted to relay that he believes that drivers are the show, and our job is to provide them the best, most consistent, fair stage that they can. There was a raffle car that was built by Stephen Depew. It was really hard. It was a hard-built Camry. Ended up getting a Mad Dog Award in the heat number 4, and then got halfway through the feature before the starter quit. Marco Passamato won the fire department heat. Obviously, Midsummer Mayhem, the logos, the Bulldog with the fire hat on. A lot of support from emergency services, fire crew, police departments, and stuff like that. So
That's
glad that they were able to make that one happen.
That's the show Kylie and Jeremy Gelly went down and ran. I know Jeremy got a Mad Dog in the heat, went back out in the feature and junked it, which is really hard to believe. Kylie had some issues, and then Sunday she went to Bethel and junked her PT Cruiser. We were talking last week. She had a really nice paint job, and so they got a couple derbies in this weekend. So
So today is a unique anniversary. 5 years ago today, Todd Height was at Brockton Fairgrounds handing out Steerface Racing hate to everybody out there,
Cool.
making all sorts of hits, so that was cool. And I didn't know this, but it is also the same day that the roof got ripped off of Scott Kiefer's car at Yates County.
Wow.
6 years. Can you believe it's been 6 years since that happened?
I don't know if it seems like that long ago or if it seems like it was longer. That was interesting. That was
I saw he shared the video, and all of the tension came back because I thought we were gonna have to go back down that road. And I still believe, and I am a believer in halos. I still believe that if he had a halo on that car, it would have been a lot worse than that sheet metal just being able to peel off.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion about that, and
I thought it was coming back. I just kept scrolling.
yeah, it was.
I didn't want to go there. I did not want to get into it, but
Thankfully, everybody was, he was safe, and
at the end of the day, everyone was safe, and it didn't matter. At the end of the day, everyone was safe, and I can't believe it. For both of those, for that matter. 5 years ago for Todd, and then 6 years ago for Scott. It was pretty neat. We talked about Steven Sickles, got through that slump, got the big minivan win on the knob. We were going to get Matt Wingrove here momentarily. Championship rings have been ordered for first, second, and third place with the Unified Point Series, and Pat Stefano and the Pennsylvania State Police were part of the opening ceremonies at Roaring Knob.
yeah, I saw that.
So that was pretty cool.
That was very cool.
Jacob Pruismann, they kicked off the 448 promotion season in Alta over the course of the weekend. 42 entries. Mowers, Bill O'Connell won there over Lane O'Connell and Dylan Hushman. Lane O'Connell also got the Mad Dog Award, the 80s Old Iron Stock Mix. So they ran both together. Joey Post from Alta, Iowa won there. Austin Bizzoni was second place. Mad Dog was Joey Post. Bolton Chain Compacts, Jake Beerett, I think, from Wall Lake, Iowa, got the win. Jake Flatter was second place. Brian Frederick with Mad Dog Limited Weld class. Travis Kais won that one over Brandon Kais. Josh Klein was third in that one. Mad Dog was Brandon Kais, second place in Mad Dog for him. Full-size points now. Brandon Kais out in front with 180 points, and Mike Gaines and Matt Sharn rounding out the top three. Compact points, Jake Beret out in front with Jake Flatter and Lance. I've seen his name, Sidlasik. I almost think we had him on the show, and we debated the errors of his last name pronunciation. Ed Bort picked up a win at New Alex. Did you see that?
I did not.
Ed Bort getting a win at New Alex, Pennsylvania. Dominic Fabry put Justin Raniger in a car, and he took that car to third at New Alex. And then Chris Williams ran at I-80 Speedway in Greenwood, Nebraska. Took the win there.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
Now they're putting that car back together to go over to Ottawa, Iowa this Saturday. That's Candace Joe's Domination shows. That's she's
Team
got
show,
two
right?
shows the same day. She's got Ottawa and she's got Cherokee happening the same day. So she's going to have her hands full there.
Nice. She'll be pulling her hair out.
Yeah.
It's a busy
Probably.
day, 2 shows.
Probably. Safe assumption. Hey, Mike McCreary, thank you. North Dakota results, 2-man team show. John Hayes and Jackson Bernstein coming away with the team win there. Joe Bosch and Dave Bosch, second place there. Chain class was Jordan Simic. So we got something. That was all aired. You can go back and watch on demand, Trackshot TV.
Kenny Rosno ran somewhere this weekend. I can't remember
Yes, I'm glad you said that. Yeah,
where. He got a third place somewhere.
I don't remember where. Though.
Either do I, but I saw that he ran. But I think he's going to one of the Domination shows next weekend. So I think he said he's same car next week because, when he builds cars, they last forever.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't wear cars out as much as he just replaces panels.
yeah, adds more steel, more welding wire.
Right. So we're now late on Matt. But I think we ended up covering everything that we wanted to.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy. This is kind of weird. We haven't done this in a little while.
I know. It's fast paced. It's been busy. The live chat's been hopping. Good to talk to everybody out there. Hey, Matt, it's Chris. Hey, let me put you in. All right, so we've got Matt Wingrove here joining us. Matt, man, how are you?
Oh, pretty good.
Congratulations on the run at Roaring Knob, and it jumped you up there in the point standings. So what's that mean for you the rest of the summer?
Well, it means it's going to be pretty busy, and thankfully my wife's okay with it, and she's being an all-star with the kids and everything. We was looking at Portland.
Have you?
That's not.
Did you have plans to run the whole point series anyway?
What's that?
Did you plan on running the whole point series anyway?
Actually, not. Like, you know, I was sitting at home watching the Southern Nat. You know, I thought it was a pretty interesting concept with the points and everything, and I really, especially screwed up and got this year. You know, I knew hardcore was going to try to make something. It was really pushing.
So, I mean, you're 2 points behind Nick King at this point, and you're eyeing making that trip out to Portland. It's the second time that you've been able to bank points for the series, running full-size motor swap cars. You had the 4th of July win in Indiana in a mini car a couple weeks back. So, I mean, that's good. How did you end up getting into Demolition Derby anyway?
Just when he was younger, and then whenever us kids got older, my sister got into it, and I guess I was helping them out when I was probably 10. And then I started out with a hand-me-down Grand Marquis station wagon at the local fair here. No body mounts done, nothing, just a complete piece of junk. And after that, I dabbled into a little bit of compact some, and now I'm up here with the red line and everything else. So I guess everything kind of progresses pretty quick.
Sure does.
It's an addiction, man. Once you get hooked, you're there.
That's it.
What's your connection to Amanda Wingrove?
That's my sister.
That's your sister. She's got some roof signs, and if I remember right, I think that a German Shepherd ate one of your roof signs, didn't they?
yeah, something like that.
I remember getting a frantic text message one time regarding a very ill-behaved German Shepherd decided to chew on a roof sign.
If they were made out of steel, that wouldn't happen. Have broken teeth.
It was one of the early edition ones. It
Oh.
was the aluminum with that composite core. Ever since then, they've had steel.
Nice.
There's been none of that silliness happening.
That's funny.
I haven't even. I still think that there's panels left over there at the shop that never got used, just because it served its purpose at the right price point, but it also needed to cost a little bit more to be a little bit better, and it was the better move.
That's cool.
It was the better move. So, what are you going to take to Portland if you make the trip out?
I was looking at the Bubble Vic. You know, I'm all for the motor swap stuff. I've never really ran the stock 4.6 stuff, but luckily I've had a lot of input from some buddies and helping around and just really supporting me to get me to these shows and making sure I have a competitive car. So just kind of relying on some of their advice and what I know, and just trying to make something happen.
So Bubble Vic, you're talking 03 and newer?
We was probably gonna roll with like a 92. That way it didn't have the electric transmission in it.
I'm with you. Yep. Depending on where you are, Bubble Vic means different things. Like out here, the bubble generally falls in that 92 to 97 range after they got away from the box that generation afterwards. But other places in the country, it's that weird body style with the 03 and up. And in the video game, they just dropped the 03 bodies that fit on the Crown Vics and the RDP group, Jesse Myers, and they're Bubble Vics. So, and he's covered it all. He was in Montana, and then he was in Utah, now he's in New Jersey. So I want to say it's a fair question. I'm sure there's people in live chat that are just shaking their heads. There's nothing above us, so I'm not sure what just fell. That's weird.
I just wondered. I was just making sure it wasn't just my mind they heard that. Out of the show. I'm sorry to disrupt.
This is a bizarre place tonight. So after you go to Indiana for the Portland Derby, you're going to make the trip worth it and run both nights? Because I think it was the 17th and the 18th, right?
Yeah, I mean, if possible, I'm probably just going to be able to make the 18th one.
Yeah.
But kind of loading for bear for the next one up there at Roaring Knob at the Markleysburg. They're having that 2-man extreme class. So basically with this point series, I want to make sure whenever you run, you make it count, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
But,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
So Getting Junked is going to be next on the schedule, Portland, Indiana, and the Jay County Fairgrounds. And after that, we're back at Destruction on the Knob, Markleysburg, PA, hosted by Hardcore Derby Promotions. Those are the next two that we're talking about for Matt Wingrove. And, I mean, that's a pretty rapid path through. You know, we're talking with Casey a little bit about how we've been breeding the compact drivers, but we don't have anything in place to breed the full-size drivers. and conversation happened Saturday night in between all the different Derby information that was coming in cycling, and how the compacts get no respect. You get someplace like Downsville that has almost 100 compacts and 28 full size, and you put your attention on the full size. And I think a part of it is that the compact evolved as an attraction, as a support division first, versus all the people that were in charge of derbies always saw full size. They were running derbies back in the 70s and 80s. They were all full size. When the compacts came around, it was a support class. And then those people that moved out of driving moved into promotion. So you still had that full size focus. But it's not that the compacts don't get any respect. They've got their own team bracket at Blizzard Bash. They got a 10,000 to win derby at
Bash for Cash.
At Bash for Cash. Chaos in the Valley injected an extra $3,000 into the purse on a whim because they had so many compacts down in Virginia. And I made the statement through the course of it was, it's no different than Sportsman Modifieds or Street Stock Modifieds. It's supposed to build you up to go along. You're supposed to go from the Street Stock to the Sportsman, and then from the Sportsman into 358s or into the Modifieds, whatever, a 360 Sprint, what have you. And then I started thinking about it. I don't know of a lot of people that did that. They didn't go from the compacts and move up. They just made harder and harder compacts instead of building the chain and go or the street stock or the initial offering that you see at the county fair level. They started building harder and harder and more extreme compacts. And as a result, there's been entire industry players that are focused on compacts. The gray area is the one that comes to mind first and foremost. So it's just kind of an interesting thing, the way that played out. And then we hear that Matt's bounced around from a bunch of different divisions, and in all walks of life. But that you said that you kind of prefer that motor swap division.
Yeah, I mean that's where I've had the most success here in recent years. But every now and again, because the compacts in our area, they've really progressed here, and you got to have the cradles and all that other stuff to compete. And I kind of wanted to specialize in one direction and not try to have everything. But with these stock classes now, like that's the awesome thing about this point series is you can get down through the schedule and you can pick and choose, what fits you and where you think you're going to be able to do something, But it's awesome. You could tell the passion that Mark Elliott has for that, and it's contagious. I mean, it's once I got that first taste of points up there at Hardcore's opener, my brother-in-law and my dad, and we loaded up this wired-together Toyota Camry. We always said if we was ever going to go anywhere, it was going to be this tanked-up 80s car we're hauling somewhere. Here we are loading up this 98 Camry, hauling her 6 hours, left 2 o'clock in the morning, and ended up coming home with the win. But, it just, once I got that first taste, it was kind of contagious.
Yeah, man, there's nothing better than that. There's nothing better loading up early and going and, having high hopes and high, then realizing those hopes. It's pretty cool.
That 6-hour drive home was probably a lot easier than the 6-hour drive out.
Yeah, I had to stop and treat him to a steak dinner on the way home after that one.
We used to do that a lot. We'd go to races, and my brother would get a big win. We'd stop in Auburn and get steak. So, yeah, it's cool when you can do stuff like that. But you touched on with the compacts. They've really kind of built their own class and have their own following, and they're premier. I mean, they're a premier division. They really are. And I've said it a million times. I was one of those guys. I didn't think much of them when they first started around here. But, as we've traveled and seen the shows, my God, them guys hit hard and drive fast and build tough cars. So it's really a premier division. I mean,
It might not be a fair comparison, but I've never been able to forget Trevor Pedke and Bill Miller's outlaw compacts when they built those Camaros that we saw in Kentucky. And they might not fit if we're talking compacts, the image that pops into your mind might be more along the lines of an Avalon or a Camry or a Lumen or something like that. You're not going to default to, if you're in Ohio, it's a little different game. You probably start thinking of AMCs, but still, that was such a telling night seeing those run and what they did. And then we saw them a little bit later when we went to Arkansas, and those guys were there. And I think Brandon Dixon had the yellow Mustang. It was like a '94 Mustang. And it was just crazy to see that. And I think that the conversation at the county fair level is more of the. I don't like the term disrespect. I'm going to use it because I can't find a better word for it. I think that's the catalyst, or at least the where a lot of that disrespect stems from.
Mm-hmm.
That the further out you go from your local level to the regional level to the national level, you see that compact guys they're there as an attraction because they're there, because they deserve to be there, because they should be there, because it's a recognized class that's treated with respect. We've seen that division really blossom, and what Mike Koch and Jared Fisher and that whole crew, and then the Compact Cadillacs crew, what they've been able to do, the Fords and Mulder and Ullman and stuff.
Brawlinger.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Great example. With that was the A2S and the A2Z crews. They're certainly fun to watch. So it was a fun back and forth, fun debate. I just didn't really feel that compacts have been disrespected that way until it was put in those particular terms. I can see it, but I still think that it's more tied to the county fair than it is at the national level.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, they're right. They're right up there. They've built themselves quite a niche.
Bolton, that's how much Dan Bolton loved compacts. He didn't even sell it.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
He drove all the way down to Virginia to run it.
Because he sold everything. Let's be honest.
He did. He's got did you see his hot rod truck?
I didn't.
He's got a Dodge truck that he's working on.
Wonder how long he'll have that. Wonder how long he'll have that.
I think this is going to be a long term. He wants a project that he can get into with his kid. I think it's going to be one that's around forever. But hey, I've said that before.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, Matt, when you're going to these and you're taking, it's probably a lot easier to take a wire Camry than it is a modded out 80s car too. Tow's a little bit easier. Is the rest of the family bringing cars as well and making this thing a family affair, or is all the effort going into one car for you to drive?
No, I mean I can't thank everyone enough for helping me. I mean I can't even begin to name everyone, but everyone's just really putting everything aside and helping me out to get me out there. Normally, the local fairs and stuff, my sister and brother-in-laws, they'd run with me and everything, but, just like when we went out there to Connersville, that was just a solo trip just to see if we could compete and make it worthwhile, and that's what we said, as long as I can stay in the chase, we're going to keep trying, so.
The Kyle Larson of the Unified Point Series?
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
If you will. It's awesome that it's still fun, still a family affair, and Demolition Derby's got a little bit of a new life for you now. Instead of just rolling around the tracks you're used to, you're getting to see some new places. And by all means, we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully, this thing plays out the right way for you.
I hope so. Thanks, guys.
Matt, thanks for coming on the show on short notice. We do appreciate it, and good luck. Be safe in your travels. We'll see you soon.
Yep. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Matt Wingrove. I'm beginning to think that we're not going to get Jamie. I'm going to give him one more try here. Make sure that I didn't get the number the wrong way, or if I missed something.
How's the chat room going tonight?
Everybody's starting to sign out at this point. Scott Kiefer was in for a little while. Got to see him. We had some information come in from North Dakota, which was good, but I think everybody's just sort of
headed back to the garage.
I think so. It's been. I know it hasn't been the smoothest show in terms of all the information we had to get to, but I hope that's not the reason why people weren't talking or tuning in.
I just think it's great we had so much information to get out.
There was a lot.
We haven't had that in months.
We're gonna put a fork in the idea for Jamie Rake. Any final thoughts on this one? I mean, Iowa, North Dakota, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, New York.
It's Derby season. Sounds like it's prevent. I don't even know the word. Slowly starting. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can keep things healthy. And
I haven't followed up on what Toast is up to.
Toast ran at Mayhem, and then I haven't really seen much since. I'm sure he's been pretty busy building parts. We talked about that with him here a couple weeks ago.
Russell Argo getting ready to run in Punta Gorda, Florida. Remember Russell Argo? Mm-hmm. We saw them down there for the Nationals. John Hart, he's in the queue right now. It is an hour away from start time for American Beans Monday night. I don't remember what he called it. There's a big 36-car derby on deck tonight.
Monday Night Raw!
Yeah, it's not it. I think that's been taken.
think so. How about Raw's War?
I think that was used too. Did you see WWE trademarked the name Cody Rhodes again? So Cody can't get it. It's why Cody has to wrestle into the name Cody at AEW.
How bad is that? Like, that is a yeet. That's doing it just because you want to do it. Like, you're not being a nice person.
Yeah, it's you're just messing with somebody now.
Yeah, to not let them use their own name.
I think they trademarked WWE. If I'm not, I don't remember the specifics. So hopefully WWE doesn't listen to the Crash Course. I'm going to get sued. But I think they trademarked Dusty Rhodes' name as well. So
I know they. Well, that's why John Moxley is John Moxley.
Yeah, that's not quite the same though. I mean, the Rhodes name, in terms of the legendary status, it's not uncommon. Ty Dillinger, he was the perfect 10. I think he wrestles under the name Sean Spears now. He's from Buffalo, and when they move promotions, it's not uncommon to see people lose their names and stuff like that. But going through and
yeah, you really make somebody mad when you do that. What do you think?
Jeff Schumann.
Schumann. Jeffy.
He said, sorry, I can't chat. I'm still welding. Monday Night Madness was the name of it. There it is. Nice. Mark Elliott, he got free. I'm glad he got to check in here. Seeing guys like Matt do things in a car that are Class A national level. So thankful that we moved forward in June. So that's cool. JC Molly's bruised Russell Argo up pretty good and ended up taking the win. I guess if you're going to get beat by somebody in Florida, it's going to be JC
Molly's. Right? Yeah, that's hard to believe.
There's going to be Steve Molly's when he signs in under somebody else's name.
Yeah. JC Siopa.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, they're getting ready to run over there on Bean Server. There's a bunch of places with the fixed numbers with 36, and the reason that is to make sure the show moves through. Mm-hmm. Other places, I didn't get in. We're going to host, so there's a ton of derbies happening. There was a derby. I was getting home from school, and there was an online derby lobby taking form of like 8 or 10 people at like 1 this afternoon.
Did you jump on and clean house?
I did not. I got out of school and had a little bit of stuff to horse around with at home, and then started getting everything ready to come here.
Chris has become dominant in the online derby world.
I don't know if that's true.
I kind of like to hear it.
I don't know. No.
He shows up, cleans house.
We don't want to do that.
They start running for second when Chris Marquardt pulls in.
I don't think that's true either.
It's like Matt Shepard showing up. Everybody's running for second.
That's true. They rained out. They didn't get the features in it out loud.
They got a bounty on them.
$1,000.
It's not bad.
Nope.
But what do you think, sir?
I think we covered a lot of information tonight.
I'm going to go grab a pour of power and head back to the shop.
Hope everybody enjoyed it. That is going to do it for this edition. 315 in the books, number 315, all done. We appreciate you hanging out and listening to us talk about all sorts of Demolition Derby action tonight. And we're going to do it again here next Monday. We look forward to get back in the studio. I think Ed Brewster's going to be up here for it. Ed's going to get in town on Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's coming up to hang out for a little bit. And for a couple of days, he's going to go see Butch Sisko. We're going to go see Jamie Davis. Wants to catch up with Tom Bell. Tom Bell was in the chat for a little while tonight. It was our
buddy Tom.
Yep. Looking forward to seeing that. It's going to be a good time. Oh, I got a story for you about that. About Ed. It's one of the Ed stories are always awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, guys. Lincoln was sold. It's got a new home. Terry Gappa came and got that Saturday morning. So
nice.
It's on its way.
Chris is cruising in a journey.
The airbags had collapsed so low that it wouldn't make the incline up into the trailer. So we took a floor jack and jacked up underneath the trailer hitch, and it wouldn't go because it got too high now. But we didn't have the handle for the floor jack. So we had to use a concrete spike and a pair of needle nose to open the valve and eject the handle. So we had to find the sweet spot so that there was still enough down pressure in the back tires to get grip.
It sounds like a...
And then Terry got bored.
Fun job.
Terry got bored of trying to find the sweet spot.
Just stood on the gas.
He says, I'm just going to, and I love listening to Massachusetts actually. He goes, I'm just going to go for it. We're just going to put that car in the trailer. He backed it up and he goes, your neighbors might get pissed. I don't know, but we're going to get this monster up there. And he stood on it, squealing tires, left rubber streaks of the road up on the trailer. He goes, see? Fits like a glove. Perfect spot.
Awesome. Very cool.
Awesome. Yes. So, outstanding. It's getting hot in here. We're all done.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next
time.
Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. and Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah, online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby apparel, and Derby Inc. magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.